What's up, YouTube? It's your Huckleberry here. You can call me Huck. So I came across this video. We've been watching a lot of these sovereign citizen videos, and I came across this video where there's a sovereign citizen in court in front of the judge trying to plead his case or whatnot. And I thought that would be an interesting dynamic to add to this playlist and to add to the channel. So let's watch how this judge responds to this gentleman, and let's see what the reaction is here.
All right, good morning, Mr. Daly. What would you like?
So, Judge, two things. I've talked to Madam Prosecutor on this case, Judge, and I'm approaching on two things. One, bond reinstatement, and PC on this case, Judge. She and I have already discussed it on this case, and we just both want you to hear the PC, if we can, Judge.
Okay.
And then on the bond reinstatement as well, Judge. Right.
So officers initiated a traffic stop in Harris County, Texas for a vehicle having a fictitious plate bearing the word traveler on it. During the stop, the defendant refused.
Okay, so in our previous videos, we've come across two different fake plates. One was from Aussie Cleo. She had a plate that just says Sovereign, and she was rolling with that. And then in our last video, we had a woman in Florida who had her license plate said Private. So now we're over in Texas, and their license plate says Traveling.
Provide.
I didn't anticipate the judge laughing as hard as me. Hold on, let's. I interrupted that whole sequence there, so let's go out to that again.
Traveler on it. During the stop, the defendant refused to provide.
Traveler? Okay.
During the stop, the defendant refused to provide ID or insurance information, stating, "I do not consent to this." Officer attempted to remove the defendant from the vehicle, and defendant actively resisted by pulling his arm away from deputies until he was detained.
Okay. Tell me what.
So we looked at, Madam Prosecutor, the interference with duties of public servant, Your Honor. Even if my client is failing to give them that, then it is an arrestable offense. But in this situation, it is, Judge. However, in this particular situation, he didn't interfere with anything in terms of his own arrest.
So I'm guessing that the woman talking with the orange thing around her arm and the fur coat, I'm guessing that's the defendant's lawyer. Also probably a family member or something by the way she's engaging with him and touching him and whatnot. I thought they were a couple, and I thought the woman to the left was their lawyer, but it looks like the woman to the far left is the prosecutor.
You know, if it was a resisting or something to that effect, I can see.
They're just trying to get him out of the car.
I don't disagree.
It's classic sovereign case where got the license plate, think that traveling by right is what I think how they term it. You know,
in this situation, Judge, and the reason I'm employing upon the court is, even from what Madam Prosecutor has seen on the video, they're pulling and tugging at his arm, which put my client in some fear. It was more than one officer. It was pretty.
But he still has a duty. If they're asking you to come out, they can lawfully do that. And there are videos, and go on YouTube, right? There are hundreds of videos where officers will literally destroy your car to get you out. When you get into a pissing match with a person who has the power of arrest, who's going to win, Mr. Daly?
We don't disagree, Your Honor.
Right. You know what I mean? That's real life.
We don't disagree, Your Honor. I think under the circumstances of what actually happened, it was not Mr. Daly's position to resist or to interfere.
I'm really glad we found this video, guys. This is a really good one. It's very relieving that the judge is just going to reiterate everything the cops say when they give you that chance and they pull you over.
That was not. He was concerned for his safety at that point. And actually, I don't know. Did you hear that on the video? Right. And so in reviewing the video, it was pretty quick, pretty brash. They didn't give him an opportunity to respond per the prosecutor. in this situation. It wasn't as if he was intentionally
Remember,
not.
this is just a mere probable cause.
Yes,
So,
Your Honor, I agree.
they ask you to come out of the car one time. Yeah, it's really, that's, so, I think that there's enough probable cause to go forward now. The problem is, Mr. Daly, is that we revoke your bond. Your bond is set at 2501, and you've continually failed to appear. So, the case and the way that you've treated us, it shows me that you just refuse to accept authority. How are we supposed to deal with that? How do we deal with that, Timberland?
Your Honor, the only reason I bring to your attention is I asked the court to take into consideration, we have a Black male works every day who, and I hate to put that on the court, but I do in this particular climate, that has never been in contact with any particular law enforcement.
What does that mean? We have a Black man that works every day. Now, that's probably a low percentage, but most people work every day. And then she says this particular climate sounds like that's kind of a workaround to say in this racial atmosphere. I'm not sure what particular climate she's referring to. It's kind of a vague term, but the fact that she just brought up Black male makes me think that that's where she's going with this.
Enforcement court system. And from what I can see and what I hear out here from a lot of my Black male, and I'm sure it's common knowledge, is that because they are unfamiliar with the court system, they don't know, number one. Number two, when they do come in contact with police, and my mother is assistant chief of police, so I can understand, even when I was younger, I was taught that there are certain things that you have to do with when a police officer even stops.
So she said that because Black males aren't educated enough, they don't know how to react and they don't know how to handle it. Whose fault is that? Is it their Black mother's fault, who's probably trying to work all the time and is having trouble raising the kid by herself? Is it the Black father's fault, who's statistically not there? Is it because of who they surround themselves with and the environment they choose to be a part of? They could pay attention in class. They can open a book. I'm finding it hard. It seems like she's trying to frame this gentleman as being at a big disadvantage when he's in the same ball game and playing the same thing that we all are playing, and we all had opportunity to learn.
On a speeding ticket. What we don't know is whenever these officers come up, when you're somebody who don't have the privilege of having a police officer as a parent, or who isn't familiar and is being raised in this particular climate and seeing what they see on TV and seeing what they hear and everything that has occurred, you don't know what the proper steps are. I was trained from when I was grown up what you do. I'm not saying that what he did was right or wrong. I'm not saying that how he reacted to this particular court, it is wrong.
So Judge, will you please let him off, because he's just a product of the environment. He's a product of the failing system. That's, I guess, the argument here.
However, I'm imploring upon the court to ask the court to take into a little bit of consideration, number one, from his perspective, all defendants can't just say this, but I do see that, from what I've known from this particular case and now in talking to him, I do believe that there is a sense of sometimes they just don't know. Sometimes they just don't. So I'm asking to reinstate his PR bond. I am now on the case. What you know about me, I'm a tight attorney. I run a tight ship. So, and by which of way I believe I can reach him in getting him to court and resolving this matter, which is what I talked to.
I actually like this woman. She's trying. She's doing her job. It's not going to probably work, but I can't fault her for her approach.
The prosecutor about when you were on break, it's like, let's just resolve this. Let's take care of this.
I'll buy it.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
I'm not going to do this again, though. I promise you. I don't care whoever you have. If you flake on us again, that's 3 times. It's out. I'm not going to do it again. Do you understand, Mr. Daly? When you come to court, good things happen.
Yeah, I thought maybe that the judge wouldn't consider any of this, but her demeanor and her argument and the way she's framing it, and this seems like a very good-natured judge. He probably lucked out tremendously with the judge that he's getting.
When you don't show up and you continually do it, you can't expect good things to happen. Now, do you have a Texas driver's license?
Not right now.
You're not allowed to drive.
Right.
You have a bond condition and you've signed an affidavit with me.
So he didn't just have improper tag, he doesn't even have a driver's license. That seems premeditated to me. I mean, if he didn't have a plate on the car at all, and he had just bought it or something, and he was gonna go get the driver's license, that's maybe an argument. But the fact that he has a traveler license plate and he's not traveling with a driver's license, it seems like that he was just misinformed. These sovereign citizens, I don't really know what they're getting at. Every other law and amendment they'll cling to, you know, the right to whatever, the right to vote, the right to bear arms, right to free speech, all this kind of stuff. But they kind of ignore the privilege of traveling. He's being very generous if he lets them off, because it seems like to me that this was kind of a inevitable event that this guy was asking for by not having anything proper but driving.
Today, promising you're not going to drive. I don't care how you term it. Driving, traveling, however you're going to word it, whatever you do not get into the driver's seat of an automobile, a motorcycle, anything with a combustible engine where you...
I like how he just broke that down so this guy can't catch a loophole. Anything with a combustible engine. Okay.
can get on the road unless you have approval from us. Do you understand? I don't care that you have to work. I don't care if you have to go to church. I don't care if you're going to a funeral. I don't care if you're going to wherever it may be. Do not drive. Do you understand? Heed this warning. You're not going to get another one. Okay, Timberlake, I'll reinstate the bond.
Thank you, Your Honor. And I'll talk to her. We were going to try to talk to Chief, but it's pretty busy
I
today.
mean, I think the case is only 3 months old,
Yes,
so you've got time. You can do whatever you want.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Judge.
Because you have a lawyer, I will waive your appearance. You don't have to waste your time coming to court now, but you must stay in touch with her and she'll tell you when you got to come back to court. If she comes back and tells me she can't get a hold of you because you're playing games or you've gone AWOL or whatnot, or you get arrested for something else, all bets off. We good? I'm not asking for much, man. You know, really. And for future reference.
He's really not asking for much. This is the best possible judge you could probably get in court. I went to court one time because I was arguing this right turn infraction. The sun was setting. I couldn't see anything. It was blinding. And so I kind of yielded at the right turn because I could see that there was nobody coming from the left, but I knew there were people behind me and I was nervous about them hitting me from behind because the glare, I mean, the sun was literally setting right up the street. So I yielded that right turn, and I told the judge to pull, he pulled out the camera footage. He's sitting there, he's squinting his eyes, and he can't even see what's going on. And I try to use that as like, that's exactly what I can see. He wasn't trying to hear any of it. He actually doubled my fine because he said I was arguing with him, and then threatened to put me in contempt of court just for trying to plead my case. So this particular judge is super cool.
When you get into a pissing match with someone with the power of arrest, you are nearly always going to lose. It's just the way it works. And as a young black man in today's society, you got to be extra special careful because things can go really wrong.
I don't think he should have said that. Young black men in this society has a disadvantage, when I'm from the belief that they got more of an advantage. They have more job opportunities if they, put their grind at it. I think he's just trying to make this as easily as possible for this gentleman.
Really quick. And there's evidence of that over and over and over. Okay? All right. Good luck, guys.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, guys. So there we have it. That was, I really enjoyed that really short video. I think it was a pretty good end cap to all these other videos that we've been reviewing and reacting to. You can see what's going to happen when you go to court now. You can see how the judge is going to most likely respond. And that was the nicest possible judge. Think about the judge that I had, or the judge that you're familiar with from when you went to court once. And would they have reacted like this guy? Probably not. You're rolling the dice if you're trying to take it to court and hoping you get this guy. And I mean, he's still not getting out of the charge. He just ain't going to jail. Anyway, guys, so that was a really good one. I hope to see you on the next one. It's your Huckleberry here. You can call me Huck. We'll see you in the next video. You're Daisy if you do. Peace.